I am gifted, so are you. Author, Adam Koo. Chapter 1, From Dumb to Genius. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for choosing this book. The fact that you are willing to invest time and effort in reading this book shows that deep down in your heart, you know that you are capable of achieving much more than what you are achieving today. Whether you are a good student, an average student or even a poor student, I am sure that you have the potential to achieve the excellent results that you desire. You know and you have a strong belief that within you, there is a hidden talent waiting to be released. Almost every day, I travel around to organize seminars for thousands of students and teachers on how to develop their hidden potential to achieve excellent results. Newspapers and television stations praise me as a learning guru and a genius. They mentioned that I had helped many students, especially hopeless students, become successful not only in their studies but also in other areas of life. Let me tell you, the person who was most surprised by these miracles was me. Not long ago, I was known as an ordinary, lazy, ignorant child who could not do anything. So how could a child who was once considered stupid now be praised as a genius? Those who know me now cannot believe that I used to be a bad student, constantly failing exams and having no future. That's right, I used to be that kind of student. I don't care how many times you have been scolded as stupid, hopeless, incompetent, slow-moving. But believe me, like me, you have the power, the potential to change everything in a short time and become a real talent. In this book, I will guide you in detail the methods to achieve that miracle. Also, let me remind you that I do not guide you on the path to success from the position of a person who is inherently intelligent and always achieves good results. I guide you from the perspective of someone who was considered ignorant, a bad student. Therefore, if you are still studying worse than your friends, understand and completely share your feelings. Simply because I was in your situation, and there is even a high possibility that I am much worse than you. Simply I was a bad student. I failed in studying right from the first days of elementary school. When I was a child, I hated reading and preferred playing video games and watching TV. As a result, I didn't pay attention in class, and my report card was full of eggs and geese. This only made me hate my teachers and school even more. Things got worse. Before grade 3, I was expelled from St. Stephen's Primary School for poor performance and being disruptive, and transferred to Ing and Primary School. There, I continued to play around and neglect my studies. As a result, my primary school graduation scores were so bad that I was not accepted into any of the 6 secondary schools my parents had chosen for me, even though they were only average schools. Finally, I was sent to Ping Yi Secondary School, a small, newly opened school that hardly anyone I knew had heard of. Although no one expected me to do better at this new school, they did not expect me to slip so quickly that my 6th grade math teacher called my mother in anger to find out why I could not solve a 4th grade problem. At that time, passing a subject with the minimum score was considered a great achievement for me. Therefore, my scores were always hovering around the 5th and below. Out of a total of more than 160 students in the same class, I was among the bottom 10. My parents tried to send me to many places for extra classes in grade anxiety, but it was of no help. Finally, my parents thought that the only way was to send me to study abroad in a country where students were less determined to succeed than in Singapore. Only then would I have any hope of passing high school. The turning point. At a low point in my academic career, my father came across a special 5-day course that taught students how to study effectively and take control of their lives. Believing they had nothing to lose but money, my parents decided to enroll me in the course, which had a name that didn't sound like it was for me at all, a Super Teen TM. So one Sunday morning in 1987, I was taken to the Lady Hill Hotel and tutored by Mr. Ernest Wong. I was about 13 years old at the time, and I was in a program with other students ranging in age from 12 to 20. I was very upset that day because I thought that my 5 days of playing computer games and watching TV were all over the place. However, on the last day of the course, I was completely changed. What I learned and experienced reversed my attitude and perspective on studying and life. The knowledge that Ernest Wong imparted throughout the course created a drastic change in my personality. By helping students apply advanced learning methods in the US such as accelerated learning, neurolinguistic programming, NLP, along with ways to learn and utilize the extraordinary power of the brain, Ernest has completely changed my thinking about my own abilities and success in life. Ernest showed us that everyone, even the worst students, have an endless source of potential to become brilliant talents or great leaders. It is the negative attitude, lack of confidence in oneself leading to not trying that is the only factor that prevents us from reaching success. Realizing this had a huge impact on me. I used to think that I was inferior to all the friends around me and that was my predetermined fate. Therefore, I accepted that fate, and believed that no matter how hard I tried to study, I could not be as good as the others. Then there was no reason for me to try. I was completely wrong. After understanding that I was as capable of success as anyone else, I began to believe that I could achieve all the goals I set for myself. I believed that if other students could do well, I could do well too, and even better than all of them to become the best. If other students could be recruited into special gifted programs, I could also achieve it with my determination. How did the Super Teen course affect me so strongly? Simply because at that time I believed wholeheartedly in everything I was taught in the course. The same goes for you. If you don't believe that you can do something, even if it is very simple and anyone can do it, you will never be able to do it because you will never start doing it, let alone try. I finished the course with effective study skills and a strong belief that I could reclaim my right to success. Yes, everyone is born with the same right, so am I have the right to success. For the first time in my life, who was almost the worst student in the school, set a goal to achieve academic excellence, not just simply be good. Take action with a goal ahead. After completing the training program and mastering advanced study methods, I felt like I had been given new energy, extremely enthusiastic about moving forward. At that time, it seemed like there was nothing that I thought I could not do. I started to identify 3 impossible goals. The first goal was that I had to be the top student in the school within a year, yes, from the position of the worst student in the school. My second goal was to get into Victoria Secondary School, the most prestigious secondary school in Singapore. My ultimate goal was to get into the National University of Singapore, NUS, which was recently ranked in the top 20 universities in the world. Not only that, I was determined to become one of the best students. Was this a pipe dream? People used to think so, and I proved them wrong. I took action as soon as I got home from the course. First, I put a motivational slogan on my wall. Then, I applied all the effective learning skills I had been trained in, from taking notes using mind mapping registered trademark symbol to speed reading. I was also able to answer my teacher's questions fluently with full details and a perfect structure thanks to the extraordinary memory skills I had learned. Of course, this change of mind surprised and intrigued everyone. When my teachers asked me why, I replied that I wanted to be number 1 in my school. They looked at me as if this was a crazy idea. Then when my friends asked me where I planned to study after graduating from secondary school, my answer was Victoria Secondary School and then the National University of Singapore. My friends burst into laughter after hearing my answer. They said, "That's crazy. None of us can achieve that. Only that superstars from the top secondary schools can do it." Instead of feeling discouraged and embarrassed, I felt even more determined when I heard my friends' comments like that. I had to prove that a poor student from a poor school could achieve that and change history. Achieve success. Within 3 months, my grades went from average to good. And in the memorable year of 1987, I went from being the worst student in the school to being one of the top 18 students. From there, I continued to rise to the top of the school. In terms of average, I was always first in the 6 most difficult subjects. I graduated from secondary school with distinction, with 6 tens and an average of 8 points. I was easily accepted into Victoria Secondary School, the school of my dreams. After that, I continued to excel in my studies and won a place in the National University of Singapore School of Business. From my first year of university until graduation, I was always honored to be ranked in the list of the best students in my department every year. I was also accepted into the university's Talent Development Program, NUS Talent Development Program. I achieved all these academic achievements and still had time to start a business with some friends at the age of 15, within just 2 years of the Super Teen course. Our company Event Gurus, which specializes in organizing meetings or large events for client companies, is still in existence today and is extremely successful. In addition, I also spend a lot of time as a Super Teen coach helping thousands of other students recognize and develop their hidden talents. If I can succeed, you can succeed too. I begin this book with my own life experience not to brag to you, but to emphasize a fact: if someone like me, who was once the worst student in school, can rise to the top of a prestigious university in the world and be accepted into a program for talented students, then I believe that anyone can do the same if they grasp the most advanced learning methods. You just need a deep desire to go for what you want, believe in yourself and apply effective methods to achieve success. This is also the main theme of this book. I want to share with you all that I have learned because the journey to learn and discover your hidden potential is the most interesting journey of every human being. I have experienced it and I believe so. Are you ready to build yourself an extraordinary new life? Are you ready to turn yourself into a brilliant talent before the surprise and utmost admiration of your family, teachers and friends? Turn to the next page and discover. Chapter 2, The Effective Learning Process. After hearing success stories, many students respond that they were never smart or talented enough to be successful. First, you need to understand that lack of innate ability is not the reason why someone cannot become a superstar. Conversely, it is not because of innate intelligence that superstars always achieve excellent results. In fact, it is the effective learning method that is the secret of those superstars. You and most students in the world basically have the same brain and nervous system, containing extraordinary hidden abilities. We will learn more about this issue in Chapter 5, You Have the Brain of a Genius. So why is it that while some students can learn and answer difficult questions with ease, others read the same page 4 times and still cannot understand or remember what they have just read? The reason is that those fast learners have somehow, with the right methods, taken advantage of more of their brain's extraordinary capabilities, while others have not. They have found the secret of learning how to learn effectively. Obviously, success has its own secret. By learning and following the methods that superstars apply, anyone, including you, can achieve the same results as them. You can also memorize information easily to solve complex problems. If others succeed, so will I. The problem is only in the method. Different methods yield different results. Let me ask you a question. When do you start studying for your final exams? Here's another question. How do you study? Describe each step in your preparation. This question has been asked to thousands of students, and guess what? It's interesting that there are thousands of different answers. That's why different students get different results. Obviously, different methods make a difference in results. Up to 90% of students say they start studying really 1 to 3 months before the exam. And usually, During the study process, they only do 1 to 5 of the following steps, depending on the individual. For example, some students study with only 1, 2 steps. They look through their books and notes, step 1, and then go to the exam, step 2. These students are always on the borderline between passing and failing. They either fail the exam or they pass at the lowest possible level. 2, 3 steps. They look through the book and notes, step 1, try to memorize the material, step 2, and then take the exam, step 3. These students usually get average results. 3, 4 steps. They look through the book and notes, step 1, try to memorize the material, step 2, do the practice exercises, step 3, and then take the exam, step 4. These students usually get good or sometimes excellent results. So how do you ensure an excellent result? In fact, the superstars follow a total of 9 study steps to always get the highest results on each exam. In addition, they start studying on the first day of school, not waiting until a month or 3 before the exam. That's right. Start studying on the first day of school. The process of successful learning has 9 steps. Starting from the first day of course. 9 steps to effective learning. Yes, believe it or not, to be successful, you must learn from the first day of the course, and you must master the 9 steps of effective learning methods. Let's start to learn each step in depth. Step 1. Determine clear goals. Many students think that the first step is to listen to lectures, read books and take notes. That's not true. The first thing you have to do is to determine specifically what results you want to achieve in this course. For example, how many 10s do you want to get? Setting goals is important because it determines how you study and therefore how you study. If you set a goal of getting an excellent grade in math, do you study with a different determination than if you only wanted to get an average grade? Of course. Once you set a goal of getting an excellent grade, your brain knows that it cannot afford to make a single mistake. This is likely to make you study every detail of the subject. As a result, you may get a perfect score or, if not, a 9 at the very least. However, if you set a goal of getting an average grade, your brain knows that it is allowed to lose half of the points. This is likely to make you not bother to study every detail and skip the parts that you do not understand or do not like. In the end, you easily skip half of the knowledge in the subject. As a result, you will only get a below average score, or even fail. Worse still, if you don't set any goals, your brain will automatically set the most relaxed goal, the minimum score you need to pass the exam. That can easily lead to you failing the exam. How terrible! Step 2. Make a specific plan and arrange your time. You will never achieve the big goals you set if you don't know how to make a specific plan and arrange your time properly. Step 3. Act consistently. Anyone can set big goals and make perfect plans. However, only students who truly act consistently every day can achieve excellent results. That is the ability to persevere in reading books, taking notes and reviewing every day. Most students tend to be lazy or procrastinate when it comes to studying. It's a shame if you're one of them. If you keep doing this, the exam will come before you know it. The next 4 steps are the steps to apply the super learning methods that you will learn more about in Part 2. Step 4. Reading method for information. The first super learning method is that you must know how to read books and documents effectively. Please note that, not every word in a book is important and contains the information that you really need to learn. You must know how to filter out the words that provide the main information, also known as keywords. You will learn about this method in Chapter 6, a reading method for information. Step 5. A mind mapping registered trademark symbol. After capturing information from keywords, you must know how to take notes using mind maps. This map will help you quickly organize information and take advantage of the extraordinary power of your brain that you have never discovered. Chapter 7. A mind mapping registered trademark symbol. The ultimate note-taking tool will explain this issue in more detail. Step 6. A super memory. The next super learning method is to use the super memory skill to absorb information easily. Nowadays, many educational systems are gradually shifting to learning that focuses on thinking and analysis rather than simply memorizing. However, it should be emphasized that you can only analyze problems well when you absorb and remember the core information. You will learn memorization techniques in chapters 8, 9, and 10. Step 7. The art of applying theory to practice. If you know the lessons by heart but do not know how to apply the knowledge to answer questions in the exam, you will not be able to get a score of 10. In chapter 11, we will explore methods of applying the knowledge learned, as well as skills for analyzing and solving questions. Step 8. Speed up for the exam. The next step in the super learning method is to know how to prepare for the exam. You should start speeding up about 2 months before the exam. This step will be explored in chapter 17, accelerating to the finish line. Step 9. Take the exam. Taking the exam is the final but most important step. Let me emphasize that exams are a special game. In chapter 18, Victory and Glory, you will learn the secrets to ensure victory in this game and achieve glory after all the efforts. What is limiting you and what do you really want? Before reading the next chapter, you must have a clear picture of what you want to achieve after reading this book. Once you have a specific concept of those things, you will read the book with a certain purpose. This will make your mind always search for answers to your questions while reading to achieve the goal you set. The first step to discovering what you want is to find out what is limiting your ability. Why are you always hanging around with eggs and geese? Why do you try so hard but still only an average student? Why can't you get more A's? No matter where you are in your class, from the worst to the best in your class, or the best in your school, there are definitely bad habits or ineffective study methods that you want to change in order to achieve better results. Now, before reading on, list all the reasons that you think are holding you back from success. An interesting discovery. Many students make excuses that there are many difficult problems that cause them to fail in their studies. And they think that good students never have to face such problems. A study shows that almost all students in countries around the world share the following 16 common difficult problems. You are not the only one. 16 common problems that students are faced by all students worldwide. Don't worry if you still have a lot of problems in your studies. I had more problems than any other student. The important thing is that now that you understand those problems, you will know what to do to overcome them after reading this book. To achieve the desired results, list the skills or abilities that you need to overcome the difficulties you wrote down earlier. Once again, let me emphasize that, by the time you finish reading the last chapter, you will possess all the skills and abilities necessary to succeed, not only in your studies but also in life, and you will be forever freed from the limitations that you have placed on yourself or that others have placed on you. But before we begin our exciting journey of discovery, you must ask yourself. Chapter 3, Are you ready for success? Before we get into the effective learning methods of successful students, you must ask yourself if you are ready for success. You may quickly respond, of course I am ready for success. Who doesn't want to be successful? Unfortunately, or fortunately, what you say is completely wrong. Although thousands of students have read this book and participated in training courses, not everyone can change to be successful. 5%, the way successful people think. I want to be successful. 95%, the way losers think. I wish to be successful. The reason for failure starts with your way of thinking. If you have the wrong mindset, for example, there is no secret to success, you will never succeed. Before you continue reading, you must understand and recognize the right mindset. Only then will this book bring you great benefits. There are two different ways of thinking. You can have the mindset of a successful person or a failure. Unfortunately, only 5% of students have the mindset of a successful person, and the remaining 95% of students always have the mindset of a failure. What is the difference? And how can you have the mindset of a successful person? Do you really want to succeed? Successful people always act with the mindset that they want to succeed in what they do. They want to get a 10 and they want to achieve high results. On the other hand, losers always operate from the mindset that they would love to be successful or wish they would be successful. There is a clear difference. When you want to be successful, it means that success is something you must achieve. You will not accept anything less than your definition of success. If you do not achieve what you want, you will do whatever it takes to achieve success, within ethical limits. What does this mean? It means that if you have to study 10 hours a day, you will study 10 hours a day. It means that if you have to completely change the way you study, you will change. It means that if you have to give up your favorite video game, you will give up. You will do whatever it takes to get the 10 you want. It has been proven that when you put your mind to something, you will achieve it. Some students often ask me if they think they will be an excellent student. My answer is, the question is not whether you can be an excellent student. The question is whether you are willing to do whatever it takes to be an excellent student. Students who have this kind of dedicated mindset will learn a lot from this book and achieve the results they want, or even more than they want. Unfortunately, there are still many students who do not want to succeed. They simply like to succeed or they think they should succeed. For these students, getting A's and getting into prestigious universities would be great. But these things are not a must for them. In other words, they do not care about not achieving them. They hardly put any effort or passion into their dreams. As a result, they are unwilling to do the work necessary to make their dreams come true. They are only willing to do things that are not too difficult, not too much, or when they are in a good mood. They are not committed to studying on the weekends or are unwilling to change their study methods. They are reluctant to follow the instructions in this book. They find it a hassle. These are the students who, after reading this book, continue to get the same results, or worse, because they believe they are beyond hope. As a friend and mentor, I urge you to read this book with the mindset of a successful person. I believe that you can achieve great things, but you must make them a requirement for yourself. You must be willing to do whatever it takes to succeed, no matter how uncomfortable or difficult it may be. How successful people think. They are the 5% who want to succeed. They are forced to succeed. They are willing to do anything to succeed. How losers think. They are the 95% who like to succeed. Not being successful is not a big deal to them. They are just willing to do what they love to do. Successful people master their lives while losers are not. Another characteristic of the way successful people think is that they master their lives while losers are the opposite. Successful people always take responsibility for whatever happens in their lives. They believe that no matter what happens, they are partly responsible for it. For example, if they fail an exam, it is their fault. If their parents do not believe in them, it is their fault. If they are in the worst class, it is their fault. If they become an excellent student, it is also because of their efforts. Taking responsibility for yourself has a huge hidden power. Why? Because if you believe that you are the cause of everything, you will have the ability to change and improve everything. Simply put, you are the master of your own life. To learn a lot from this book, you must have the belief that successful people are the masters of their lives. You must believe that if you change your actions and apply the methods learned, you will taste the sweetness of success. Again, this book will not be of any use to students with a loser's mindset. Losers never take responsibility for what happens in their lives. Instead, they always make excuses, blame others, or lie to themselves. If they are failing miserably in school, they will make excuses like I got into a bad class, I don't have enough time, I was born lazy, I have a bad memory, this subject is not interesting, my parents are not good at studying. Losers always tend to blame everyone except themselves. They blame the teachers for being boring, blame the exams for being too difficult, blame their friends for distracting them from their studies, blame their parents for nagging them all the time. Worse still, some students lie to themselves that things aren't so bad, that their math isn't that bad, that they actually study really hard, when deep down, they know that these things aren't true. If you keep making excuses, blaming others, or lying to yourself, this book will be useless to you. Why? Because then, you are not in control of your life. The people and things around you are the cause of your failures. That way of thinking makes you a helpless victim who can't change your life. Life is cruel and unfair, is a common saying of failures. Therefore, all the methods and skills in this book cannot help you succeed if you choose to be a failure. How successful people think. They are the 5% who want to succeed. They are forced to succeed. They are willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. They take responsibility for what happens. How losers think. They are the 95% who like to succeed. Not being successful is not a big deal to them. They are just willing to do what they love to do. They make excuses, blame others, or lie to themselves. Take ownership and take action. To summarize this chapter, you must think like a successful person if you want to get the most out of this book. You must want to succeed in your studies. You must do whatever it takes to succeed. With a strong determination, you will get those red 10s. Next, you must take full responsibility for the good and bad results you receive in your life right now. From now on, you will never make excuses for yourself and you will never blame others. Realize that you are the one who decides. By changing your approach and actions, you will change your life. Get ready to start your journey by learning about one of the most essential factors of success, your beliefs. Chapter 3 is over. See you again in Chapter 4. It's very interesting and exciting. It's titled, I Believe I Can Fly High and I Can Do It. It will be posted in the next video. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Goodbye.